polish like a pro. Let's do this. You want to polish like a pro, right? You don't know what you're doing. We don't know nothing. First you're gonna do, wash your car, make sure everything's clean. You want a clean surface, right? Second, what you're gonna do is you're gonna get a clay mitt. Clay. You're gonna spray it. You want a clean surface. Why? You want your pads to work. The way to get your pads to work is to have a clean surface. You can do it without it, but hey, do what you're gonna do. This is how I do. I'm using a perforated clay towel. You can use a mitt, you can use a bar. This paint isn't bad. It's Nissan paint. It's actually really thin. You can get a meter and read paint gauge. Make sure you don't want to go too hard, but this is something you can do at home. This isn't nothing crazy. All right, I clayed it. Now I gotta, look at that squeak. So okay, it's clean. You got a clean surface. Next, this is scary, but it's not. To get the most deep possible shine, depth, gloss, this is the pro secret. Learn the rotary. Next thing up, you need a compound, right? This is something you can go buy at O'Reilly's. We use it here, you can buy it anywhere. It's M100, McGuire's. You got a Rupes polisher, Rupes 6-inch wool pad. This is a welfare backer piece, whatever. You can get any backer piece. We like this. This is nice, it has a foam, it's pretty thick. So now, what is a compound? A compound is an abrasive, so it's gonna damage the clear coat, take out scratches, and it's gonna break down that clear coat. Why do you wanna break down the clear coat? You wanna break it down because essentially this is all the scratches, all these valleys are scratches. You wanna break those valleys down, level out the scratches. This is gonna help you level. So let's do that. Got the big scratch right here. What I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna lay down my compound, just a thicker bead on there. But first, before you do that, you wanna put compound into your actual pad, okay? You wanna make sure you got it, just for the first time, you wanna make sure you have a good prime. What does prime mean? You just wanna get it all into these fibers, everything into these fibers. Like I said, it's kind of a messy job. You just wanna get it all in there, just at first. Prime that pad nice and good. Get it in there, it's already in there, right? Then what you wanna do is you wanna grab your pad, your polisher. I have it just on one. You're gonna lay it down, you're gonna turn it on, lay it down flat with a slight angle. You slowly pick up your compound so it doesn't spit out like that. You're gonna lay the compound, you can go like that, what I just did. That's more of the pro way, right? You get it, you're gonna spread it like mayonnaise on there. Bam, you got that mayonnaise, nice spread, peanut butter. But you also can do it like this. There's a lot of guys that do that just because they want to get it all over and even, and then they go into it. That's not how I do it. Okay, so now after I got it on where I know where my scratches are, I'm just gonna go slightly start cutting, and this is the magic. Like I said, this is what we do to get that deep finish. So we're gonna go ahead and cut it real quick with the rotary, get these scratches out, then we're gonna finish back on it, and we'll just put a light panel and just see. So watch me cut. So as you see, when I'm passing over the paint, I'm going like a 50-50 pass, back and forth. I'm at a consistent speed. I'm not really giving a ton of pressure. Not a lot of pressure on the actual pad. I'm just gliding over the paint, making sure I'm not really getting it that hot, keeping it nice and cool. Letting the actual compound work and take out these actual scratches. But right now I just want to get these scratches out and make sure it's an even finish on there so I can get that really nice deep clarity. I just did what I call that like 2 passes. We did 2 passes, it's not hot. And look, I was going probably 34 RPM, so pretty, almost all the way up, full blast, cutting these out. Let's see. I'm gonna keep going a little bit more, but they're damn near out. Just 2 passes with the rotary. But the finish is what we're talking about. I'm talking about the clarity of the actual paint is why I'm using my rotary. Not necessarily to get out the scratches. Yeah, I'm getting out the scratches faster, but it's just, it knocks down that clear coat more evenly. Not even more evenly, it makes it, it removes the texture a little bit. Versus if you're going to like a 3000 grit sandpaper or something like that, you want to take out that texture. I still don't need to add any more compound because it's still moist. The key point of when you're working on with the rotary is moisture. As long as it feels wet, touch to the face, moisture is key. You don't want no dry spots. You want that moisture. You want it to feel nice and moist. So the reason why you see a lot of detailers and they're kind of looking at the side, they got a side look in it, is because they're looking at that texture. You're finding out if you created these flat spots in your actual paint when you're using your actual rotary. You actually notice that. You can look at it and notice like, oh, did I create any waves, or, you know, you gotta look down on it, look side on it. Sheesh. Okay, I still want to go a little bit more. All right, we got our rotary right here. The key is working. You want it more moisture. You always want your whole pad nice and wet. You don't want it sopping, you want it moist. Quick tip to do is get your 16-ounce bottle, whatever bottle you are, whatever compound you're using or polish you're using. You want to take a squirt, put it into a mixture of your water, shake it up really good, let it in there good, and use it as your mister, right? So now you have compound in there. Not most polishes out there, you can make it sprayable. So if you like a sprayable compound, go grab this, wet it down, open it up, take this off, go ahead and put it in there, boom, you'll have a sprayable compound. Okay, flat. All right, cool, so rule of thumb, if you can grab your fingernail on the scratch, it's not gonna come down. So your job is to improve the scratch, minimize it. That's all you want to do. So when you're looking at one of these scratches and you see a big white scratch, essentially all that scratch is say this is a mirror and there's a bunch of scratches on there and you put the light on there, it creates that web effect. So you're looking at the scratch and all it is these imperfections in the mirror. So when you're in here, all you want to do is minimize that so you can make it more as shiny as possible so you can do your, because you're not going to get it out. The scratch right here, it's not going to come out. You can grab your fingernails on it, but it looks a crazy lot better. So now if you look at it, there's swirls from my rotary tracks. Actually rotary tracks, not swirls. You can actually see my consistent tracks. So what do you do? What's your next step? Foam, right? I'm gonna take out my tracks. This is the finishing process. This is the hard process. First thing you wanna do, this is a Pro Buff waffle. Completely, you want this on there as even as possible. No fluff, you just want it on there. Nice and float. Second, after you have that, you want your Eco Wash or any type of spray lubricant. If you want compound, you can put some spritz of compound in here or polish in here. You want every fiber on here wet, moist, deep in those fibers. Then you want to grab any type of finishing compound. Right now I'm using Rupes Ultra Fine Polish. If I was you, I would just put some in there, shake it up, spray it. You want to concentrate on these edges. You want to, the first time when you primer it, look at how much I'm using. It's a lot because you want it deep in the foam. So get it in there, nice in there. Make sure these edges are not neglected. Everything on the polisher is on. And this is just the gliding part. This is all we're gonna do is just glide over it. I'm gonna go both directions. I'm gonna go 50-50 this way about 2 passes, then I'm gonna go 50-50 this way 2 passes. And then then we'll wipe it down and we'll just go over and see if we can do it. Let's go. So this is the flat. You're not taking out scratches. We're going straight flat on the panel. Start off nice and slow, no pressure. Let it just ride on there. Nice, flat. Let the pad do its work. No tipping. You should be able to do this just with one hand. As you're looking at it, when I'm polishing it, you kind of want to look at the way it's skipping. There's these little tracks that are skipping on there. You want to make sure those are all evenly moving. Again, just glide over the paint. No pressure. Nice and easy. Fill these edges. The thing is too, is key, you want to make sure you always have compound on the edges, because those edges really, it's always easier to get compound on the middle, but if you're holding nice and flat and you're getting it, but like right now, it's like there's moisture, it feels all wet. So I'm gonna go ahead and spritz another spritz, maybe spritz on my panel, just a light little mist. So speed 1, just light glide. I'm not doing any work. Just gliding over it, making sure everything's nice and good. Wipe off. Now we just passed over, what, 3 full passes? There's still haze in there, quite a bit. Let's grab some wax and grease or paint prep and just wipe it real quick. I'm just gonna use paint prep. Another thing too, when you're polishing, using your rotary and you're finishing, you wanna just stay away from heat. No heat. Hardest part about finishing out your paint, it's not like you can't just go over it 1 time or 2 times in it being finished when you're using a rotary. It's a multiple stage correction. That's why back in the day they would say 3-stage cut and buff. You don't just do it 1, 2 and it's done. You do it till it's finished. So typically to do this right, and what we're doing is I'm gonna have to probably hit it 3 times just to get out my PVC tracks and to make sure it's smooth. So let's just do the same step over again. When you're finishing out, you don't want to generate any heat. You want to run as cool as possible versus when you're doing when you're cutting, you're not really worried as much about the heat. The swelling of the paint, yeah, it's a big deal. You could swell and scratches can come back. But you kind of don't want to generate any heat when you're actually finishing out paint. Okay, so what's that? So that's 2 full steps, right? 3 passes each way. Again, quick mist, eco wash. I already have it's already primed. Let's do it one more time. Look at that, look at how steady it is and how flat it is. I'm going like 1 to 2 on the speeds. Nice and flat. That was 3 full passes. Rotary, they're still there. My tracks. You can slightly see very, very minimized. Let's do it one more time. But that clarity is definitely deeper. Okay, blow out your pad. This is the final pass. Okay, so just compressed it, cleaned out the pad, got them fibers back alive, back on it, 1 final pass. Low speed, flat, barely touching the panel, letting the foam do its work. And why am I doing this the hard way? Is because of the deep, deep shine, the deep gloss that you're gonna get after this. You can do the same thing with a DA. but the rotary finish is just, there's nothing like it. Nice and slow. Look at that. The flow of that's insane. Okay, final pass. Let's wipe. I even feel like it wipes better. The way it wipes, the way it just smooths off with your pad, there's no grip, there's nothing. The smoothness is just impeccable, you know what I mean? When you wipe after you rotary, the max smooth, slickness, everything is crazy in depth, all right? Okay, let's pull on the light on it. Two-step paint correction with a rotary, right? Wool foam. The depth of the shine is crazy. If you look out to the light, the shine, those swirls are gone. Okay, so the gloss factor is deep. A deep meaning in the light, it's a flat light. Versus you go over here, there's a textured light. And there is the flat. Textured, and it's flat. It's all time. It's just gonna take you a lot of time. What's up, man? You already know what it is. Born Detailer, baby.